Hi friends, welcome to DTK Food and Travels. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Today we're going to be making something that everyone will love, even the non-vegetarians and vegetarians. It's a vegetable biryani. So for this, we're going to use soya chunks. First, you want to go ahead and wash the soya and boil it till it's cooked. And then you want to go ahead and set the soya aside until it cools, and then you want to go ahead and squeeze all the water out of it and then set it aside. So in the meantime, you want to go ahead and get some vegetables ready, some green beans, potatoes, carrots, and some tomatoes. You can use whatever other vegetables you would like cauliflower or peas. That would be fine also. You want to go ahead and cut it into pieces like this, and then you want to go ahead and crush some garlic, green chili, and ginger. I have the exact amounts in the description of the video. The full recipe will be in the description. You want to go ahead and slice one orange, yellow or red onion, and set it aside. Here we are just squeezing the water out of the soya chunks after it was cooled, and then you want to make sure you squeeze it and get all the water out. And there it is. That's the 100 grams of the soya chunks, or 3.5 ounces. And you want to go ahead and put the crushed green chili, ginger, and garlic paste into there, and then put a handful of chopped mint and cilantro. You want to go ahead and put that in there and give it a good mix. There, it's almost ready. Few more ingredients. We're gonna add some more to it for the marinade. So this is just the green chili and the crushed garlic and ginger paste and the mint and cilantro. So we're gonna go ahead and start adding the vegetables. We're gonna add the potato, green beans, and the carrots now. We're not gonna add the tomatoes now. We're gonna add the tomatoes later on. And then after we add the vegetables, that's when we start adding the spices. We're gonna go ahead and give this a good mix to make sure that it gets marinated pretty good. There we go. Mix it really good. And once you put all the spices in, you want to go ahead and marinate it for at least 30 minutes. Mix and marinate for at least 30 minutes. The longer, the better. So the first spice that we're going to add is 1/4 teaspoon turmeric powder. Then we're going to go ahead and put half a teaspoon of coriander powder. And we're using Kashmiri chili powder, but you can use any kind of chili powder you want. And we're using half a teaspoon of Kashmiri chili powder also. So if you want it a little bit spicier, you can certainly add more of the chili powder. Then we're using half a teaspoon of salt, or salt to taste, but half a teaspoon was fine for this. And few more ingredients. There's my cat Peanut. She knows we're gonna go outside to cook, so she's waiting by the door because we usually let him sit in the she has a brother. We let him sit in the patio when we're outside cooking. So that's 1/4 teaspoon of garam masala. You want to go ahead and add that. Then we're going to add 1/4 teaspoon fennel seed powder. So that's it for all the spices. Now we're going to add one last ingredient, and that's some yogurt. We used about a tablespoon of yogurt, and that's the last ingredient. Now you want to go ahead and mix this really good. You just want to make sure that everything is coated really well. We did taste it to make sure there was enough salt, and the half a teaspoon of salt for this was just perfect. So we're just gonna get it all mixed and then set it aside. And then we're gonna go outside and we're gonna put a skillet on the stove. We put 1 tablespoon of ghee, waited for that to melt, and then put 2 bay leaves and 3 to small pieces of cinnamon, 1 star anise, about 6 peppercorns, 2 cloves, and 3 cardamom pods. You want to get all this toasted. Then you want to go ahead and add that one large sliced red onion, and you want to saute till it's brown. So when we toasted the spices, the heat was on low, and once we added the onion, we did increase the heat to medium. So we're just gonna finish adding all the spices. And like I said, we did this on low just so it won't burn, and we're using ghee, so just didn't want that to burn. Few more minutes here and it'll be all toasted up. And it's really important that you toast it. That'll bring out all the fragrance of the spices. So this the onion. At this point, we did go ahead and increase the heat, like I said earlier, to medium, and just saute it till it turns brown. It's just gonna take a few minutes, and that's the sauteed onions. So this is when you want to go ahead and add the marinated vegetables, and you want to add a little bit of water to the container to make sure you get all the spices and all the flavors in here. So when I added the water, it was a little too much water than we needed. What you usually want to do is just put a little bit of water and cover it and cook it. But because I added a little too much water, we left it open to cook, and we just closed it for the last few minutes. And you just want to cover and cook on medium till it's nice and soft, or until the vegetables are cooked to the way you want it. So while that's cooking over there, we're going to go ahead and get the rice ready. So for the rice, we did wash and soak the rice for 15 minutes, then strained it. So we're heating a pot, putting a tablespoon of ghee at the bottom, then 4 to 5 small pieces of cinnamon, 2 bay leaves, 2 green chilies, 8 to 10 peppercorns, and 4 cloves. And once that's toasted, you want to add enough water to cover the rice. We're using 3 cups of rice, so you want to add the water according to how many cups of rice you're using. So once the water boils, you want to go ahead and put the rice in there. And we did add a half of a big lime, its juice in there. That's just to keep the rice from breaking. And we did also add a little bit of salt to the water, so the rice will be salted. But that's up to you if you want to go ahead and add the salt to the rice or not. And you want to go ahead and cook this till the rice is 85% cooked. And then you want to go ahead and strain it and set it aside. And then you want to go ahead and get the garnish ready. We're going to toast a handful of cashews and some raisins in some ghee, and then set it aside. We're using about half a cup of cashews and half a cup of raisins. And you can also fry some onions if you want. You can use that fried onions as a garnish also. But we're just using some cashews and raisins. That's all we need. I'm not a big fan of fried onions on top of biryani, but some people like it. So if you happen to be one of those persons, you can certainly do it. And let me tell you, this biryani tasted really good, especially because of the soya chunks. It almost felt like there was meat in it. And because of the marination, and we let it sit for about 30 minutes to an hour, so everything did get really well coated, so everything tasted really good. So I really do recommend this biryani to even the non-vegetarians. So now the garnish is ready. We're gonna go ahead and set the biryani. So the first thing we did was put some ghee at the bottom of a pot. Then you start layering. First you want to put the rice, and the amount of rice you want, it's up to you. We made 3 layers of rice and 2 layers of vegetables. And the next item you want to go ahead and put is some mint and cilantro. We're just putting a little bit. How much you want is up to you. If you happen to love the mint and cilantro, you can certainly put more. We just put a little bit. Then the next layer is the vegetable mix. So go ahead and put as much as you want or as little as you want. Like I said, we made 2 layers with the vegetables, so we did put quite a bit. And the last layer was the rice. And then we layered it again with the rice, mint and cilantro, vegetable mix, and the final topping again was, of course, rice. Let's just go ahead and see. So, this is the second layer of the rice, and we still have one more layer to go. And the rice was just perfect. The rice did not break. First of all, we only soaked it for 15 minutes, and then we cooked it till it was 85% done. And also in the water, we had some lime juice. So, lime juice helps to keep the rice from breaking, also. Now, we're gonna put the mint and the cilantro. This time, we're just gonna put a little bit because you don't want too much, but if you like the flavor, you can certainly put more. Then, we're gonna repeat the layer with the vegetables, and this smells so good. I mean, it smells just like, you wouldn't know it was vegetable biryani unless someone said so, because it smells just like a regular biryani. And the soya chunks makes it look like you have meat in there. And when you taste it, it tastes really good too. The secret to making soya chunks nice and soft and to get it to taste more like meat is to, you wash it first, then you soak it, and then you boil it. And then after it cools, you squeeze all the water out. That helps to make it nice and soft, and then it's helpful to for it to take on the flavor of the spices you try to mix in. And then last, we're gonna put the raisins and the cashews. And you can certainly put some fried onions at this point if you want. Like I said, I'm leaving that out because I don't care for fried onions on top of my biryani, but you can certainly put it on if you'd like. It's not going to hurt anything. In fact, some people love it. And then at very last, you want to put a few dollops of ghee on top. When that sinks in, it just gives the biryani more flavor. So I would recommend putting the ghee. We don't make this all the time, so it's not like we're sitting there eating a whole bunch of ghee every day. So then you want to cover it with some foil, then cover it with the lid, preheat the oven to 350, put the pot in there, and cook it for 20 minutes, and then your vegetable biryani is ready. So 20 minutes, and it should be. Countdown begins. There it is. The alarm just went off. It's 20 minutes already. So we're just going to go ahead and take it out and see how that looks and go ahead and plate it. This was so good. You don't need anything else on the side. We did make a little raita with just some tomatoes and onions and some peppers, but it's good by itself. There it is. And that foil came off. It just smells so good. And we're gonna go ahead and plate it. Let's see how that looks. Yay, there it is. See all the vegetables in there. Yeah, I couldn't help myself. I had to taste it. It was so yummy. Thank you for watching. And like I said, the full recipe of this is in the description. Hope all of you will try it. Guaranteed that you will love it. You're not even going to miss the meat.